Buffalo Bills. Time to rethink the Sean McDermott era? The Buffalo Bills have experienced a resurgence that fans haven't seen since the glory days of the 1990s.
And that will be intercepted in the end zone by Johnson. Karen Johnson. And only Jackson can stop him now. Too late to the end zone. Touchdown.
After enduring the turbulent tenure of Rex Ryan, the Pagulas made a deliberate pivot, bringing in Sean McDermott as head coach in 2017. McDermott, known for his discipline and defensive acumen, immediately began reshaping the roster, working to shed salary and laying the groundwork for the future.
Bills now have traded wide receiver Sammy Watkins.
And the Bills are making plenty of noise as they've traded away 2 star players.
Wide receiver Sammy Watkins on his way to L.A., cornerback Ronald Darby flying off to Philadelphia.
With the hiring of general manager Brandon Bing later that year, the Bills embarked on a new era.
The Buffalo Bills have named a new general manager. 7 Eyewitness News sports director Joe Buscaglia is live in the newsroom with the very latest.
Fast forward to 2024, and it's clear that McDermott has delivered on many fronts. The Bills broke a 17-year playoff drought, drafted what many consider the best quarterback in franchise history in Josh Allen, and have dominated the AFC East with 4 consecutive division titles.
Hey, no, I'm super proud of you guys, man. We talk all season about...
They even made a run to the AFC Championship game. But for all of this success, the glaring absence of a Super Bowl appearance or even a conference title hangs over the team like a storm cloud. And with Allen entering the prime of his career, the window to win it all is narrowing. It might be time for the Bills to consider making a change at the top before it's too late. Here are 5 reasons why the Bills should think about moving on from Sean McDermott.
And the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs hurdle. This isn't purely an indictment of McDermott, but it's hard to ignore the facts. Since Patrick Mahomes took the reins in Kansas City, only the Bengals and the Patriots have managed to topple the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. The Bills, despite their regular season success against Kansas City, including 3 straight wins at Arrowhead Stadium, haven't been able to get the job done when it matters most. In 3 playoff meetings against Buffalo, Mahomes has shredded Sean McDermott's defense, tossing for 8 touchdowns with 0 interceptions, absorbing just 3 sacks, and posting a gaudy 126 passer rating. The inability to stop Mahomes in January has become a recurring theme that cannot be overlooked, especially for a head coach with a defensive background.
Game for a 6th consecutive year. And what a matchup that will be. The defending champions move forward.
Patrick Mahomes, Jim, has never not played in the AFC Championship game in his career as a starter.
And incredible. Just amazing.
Over-investing in defense. Since 2017, Sean McDermott's commitment to building a dominant defense for the Buffalo Bills has shaped every draft decision. But as the seasons have worn on, his singular focus on defense has raised eyebrows and stirred criticism. With the Bills on the doorstep of winning its first championship in franchise history, McDermott continually prioritized defense early in drafts. In 2021, McDermott chose defensive end Gregory Rousseau in the 1st round and doubled down by selecting Boogie Basham in the 2nd. A year prior, Buffalo selected A.J. Epinesa, another defensive end, with his 1st pick. The defense grew deeper, while Buffalo's receiving corps began to show signs of wear. The team's top receivers were aging, and no significant investments were made to provide Josh Allen with dynamic weapons. By 2022, when the Bills used their 1st pick on cornerback Kaiir Elam, the pattern was clear. McDermott's devotion to defense persisted, while the offense was often left patching holes. It wasn't until 2023 that the team finally addressed the offensive imbalance when it selected tight end Dalton Kincaid in the 1st round after a run had occurred on receivers. But by then, many wondered if it was too late. The team's reluctance to replenish its offensive firepower in a timely manner seemed like a missed opportunity in a league that increasingly favors offensive innovation and firepower. After adding all the defensive talent to the roster, McDermott again decided on adding yet another piece to the defense.
Von Miller is getting a 6-year deal for $120 million from the Buffalo Bills.
Von Miller signs for 6 years, $120 million. Whoa.
It wasn't just another draft pick or a low-cost signing. It was yet another deliberate decision to add even more talent to a defense that had already consumed a significant portion of the team's resources. Adding another defensive piece, while the Bills' offense struggled to evolve, seemed like a stubborn refusal to address the reality of the modern NFL. Teams that prioritized offensive innovation and explosive playmakers were flourishing, but Buffalo remained tethered to McDermott's old-school mentality of winning games through sheer defensive force. Defense, of course, is valuable in the NFL, but not when it comes at the expense of building an arsenal of weapons for the best quarterback the franchise has ever seen.
Here he is again, and getting through and making the stop is Milano.
Playing it safe. The Bills' approach under McDermott has been puzzling at times, caught between a desire for sustained success and a reluctance to take big swings.
Although the Buffalo Bills, especially Von Miller, they's a courting. They put stuff out on social media. Von Miller say, how'd you look in the Buffalo Bills uniform? And Odell Beckham Jr. responded, that would be fire. And all of a sudden, people are not running rampant with that speculation.
They've had opportunities to go all in, but have chosen to play it safe.
I would have to say one of my favorite quarterbacks that I've been watching since he came in the league is Josh Allen. Josh Allen, he reminds me of an old school or of a new school Andrew Luck.
The Bills' reluctance to part with draft capital has left them stuck in a cycle of divisional round playoff exits.
It's 13 seconds left. Everybody gonna talk about, all right, don't kick it out. Let them take time out, scribble the ball. I get all of that. But the number one defense has 13 seconds to stop, even if it is Patrick Mahomes.
The Bills losing is not necessarily the story. It's how they lost. It's how the Bengals were able to take it to them. And look, the Bills defense could not get the Bengals off the field. They couldn't tackle them.
Peter, Bills lose last night. That's the third year in a row they've lost in the divisional round.
Yeah, they're not in the AFC Championship game again.
Contrast that with the Rams, who pushed all their chips in, won a Super Bowl, and have remained competitive despite a lack of first-round picks for 7 straight years. It seems job security and not championship glory is driving decision-making in Buffalo. Offensive struggles.
There's an article by Warren Sharp, because I was frustrated after the Jets game. I just trying to figure out what was going on, and I never really had a great feeling about this 12 personnel. And basically the crux of the article was why they all of a sudden started to pop off in like 2020, 2021, and the reason was they were in 10 personnel most of the time, play action, motion, which I have seen a little bit more lately. And I don't understand why you would consciously choose to move away from that. And the only thing that I can think of is their head coach.
Yep.
And I think Joe nailed it. They wanted a run game. And, we had that in the drought. And you know what else we had? Nothing.
When McDermott first arrived, he brought in Rick Dennison, fresh off a Super Bowl win with the Broncos, but lacking experience as a play caller. Over time, McDermott's fingerprints on the offense have become more apparent.
You had Brian Dable, multiple players, telling this story. Hey, all right, F that. We're not running the ball. We're not winning the line of scrimmage. Remember, that was out of the wind game when Sean was very critical of the offense and the fact that they weren't physical at the line of scrimmage. And basically, the offense said, we're going to do our thing, and they unleashed Josh Allen and all of his fury.
Tensions with former offensive coordinator Brian Dable reportedly stemmed from McDermott's desire for a more run-heavy approach, despite Dable's success in developing Josh Allen. After Dable left to coach the Giants, Ken Dorsey took over as offensive coordinator, but the offense has struggled to find the same rhythm. Now, with Joe Brady stepping into the role, any success could mean another offensive coordinator departure, leaving Allen in search of stability. The broader point is that defensive-minded coaches like McDermott have increasingly struggled to win in today's offensive-driven NFL. Since Pete Carroll's Super Bowl win in 2014, only Bill Belichick has done it as a defensive coach. Wasting Allen's prime. Perhaps the most compelling reason for a change is the risk of wasting Josh Allen's prime years. Allen is a generational talent, but the Bills' conservative approach could see him follow in the footsteps of Phillip Rivers, great regular season success without a ring to show for it. Time and again, the Bills have had chances to make a splash in free agency, yet they've hesitated. They were reportedly in on DeAndre Hopkins before he signed with the Tennessee Titans.
All right, so now that those decks have been cleared, who do you think is in on this conversation? What do you got?
I think the Bills and the Chiefs are the two teams to watch now, and I think they always have been. They're the two teams Albert Breer reported had spoken to the Cardinals before the draft, and it was the Odell Beckham $15 million fully guaranteed for 1 year that sent things sideways because that has ripple effects on the market and what guys think they're worth.
And they could have pursued Devontae Adams or even Odell Beckham. Even Julio Jones ended up on a team last season, despite being an older receiver, and contributed to the Philadelphia Eagles, albeit in a limited role.
Slot right here and just watch the throw. Go ahead and put a seat on him. This is about a 96-mile-an-hour.
The 2023 offseason was filled with opportunities. Marquise Brown, Jerry Jeudy, and Keelan Allen were all on the move, but the Bills didn't land any
Allen
of them.
to the Bears for a fourth-round pick. Last season, Allen had 108 catches, 1,243 yards. He was 6th in catches, 11th in yards, tied for 18th in touchdowns.
Yeah, Keenan Allen is one of those, when I talk about route runners in the NFL, one of those that doesn't need the offensive coordinators to help to scheme him open.
The lack of aggressive moves to surround Allen with elite talent is frustrating, especially as the clock ticks on his prime years. Despite his past success, the narrative that Sean McDermott's job is safe needs to be re-examined.
I think Sean McDermott's a good coach. I think he's a smart guy. I just feel like in recent years, offensive coaches are hoisting more trophies than defensive coaches. It's an offensive league, and now both NFC teams in the championship have offensive coaches, and Andy Reid's an offensive coach. And listen, here's what I watched. This is what I watched. Andy Reid taking a bunch of young players and a very flawed Chiefs team, the most flawed Chiefs team in 5 years, and everybody showed up and played a little over their head in the biggest moment of the season on the road. That's what I watched.
Yes, he's lifted the Bills from the doldrums of the league, but the time has come to stop comparing this team to its past and start measuring it against the league's elite today. Kansas City is the gold standard, and they consistently add talent around Patrick Mahomes, despite already having an all-pro tight end in Travis Kelce. McDermott may deserve the chance to oversee the current reset in Buffalo, but if the Bills had taken more risks and swung for the fences at some point, fans might be more willing to stomach the idea of a reset year. Instead, they're left wondering what might have been and whether it's time to go in a new direction.
Oh my goodness! Justin Jefferson poured it in! The catch of his life! But we gotta look back at this.